Good evening, all, and welcome to Kal-bardr's Corner for this 7th episode. Holy crap, it's gotten that far, of Three Former Fat Guys. Buckle in for an hour of ridiculous, 60 minutes of chaos, 2 half hours of pure fun. I am Baron Kal-bardr Gellir, and for this show, I'll be joined by 3 gentles that are no stranger to a tall tale or sharing a drunken story. First, to my, down there-ish direction, from the Kingdom of Glenalbin, Duke James the Holy, also called Opossum Prime. To his left, your right, or perhaps you're underneath, I don't know, he doesn't know either, hailing from the Kingdom of Atlantia, the current King's Champion.
Not yet.
The soon-to-be King's Champion, Viscount Fearghus McArt. Last but not least, this week we have our special guest, hailing from my home kingdom of Meridies, a member of the Order of the Chalice, a pelican in his own right, a wise and influential knight, Sir Conal Macdale, or Song's Knight. Evening, gentlemen. How's everybody?
Thank you for the invitation.
Angry that my truck is still in the shop.
Stop breaking shit, Fergus.
And hey, you got a Ford Ranger. You drive it like a Ranger, Jack. You don't mess around.
That's fair. That's why I drive a Prius. All right, Conal, if you will introduce yourself, who you are, where you're from, and why you're awesome.
Let's do a few of those. So hi, I'm Conal. I am from the Shire of Glenree in North Alabama. We're Decatur, Alabama, very near Huntsville. As a matter of fact, we're combining with the Shire of Vendenhaney and Huntsville. Big reunification, kind of like when the Berlin Wall fell. I've been in the SCA since a brief tour in 83 and 84 when I was 17. Definitely did not fight then, but I was there. It came back in 86, and I've been around ever since. I was a squire to Earl Richard Rayfin. And like you said, I'm a knight and a pelican, and I've been Earl Marshal once here. And I'm kind of over the last several years, I'm on sort of a rebound after I sent my kid off to college and got him married, and his wife has just started throwing off babies. So I have a different philosophy now that I've come back to the SCA. I used to think there was like one right way. We were all just tuning toward the right way to do SCA. Everybody else who wasn't doing that was kind of a loser. And I've realized, wow, what an arrogant dick I was. And now I'm just out to have fun.
I definitely think we're doing the SCA the wrong way here. That's our goal, I think, is to do it the wrongest way possible, which is why I keep Holy around. So
somebody will like it, and if they like it, we're doing okay.
Oh man,
it's my methodology, man.
Yeah. Come on,
so I get this methodology. Like, first you hate me, then you love to hate me, then you hate to love me, but then you love me.
You're a fun element.
He's like a fine fungus. He just grows on you slowly until you can't get it off.
Yeah, it's not personal. You're a fun elemental. You summon you up, and bad shit might happen. Good shit might happen. It's going to be fun, but it was never personal.
Shit's going to happen, though.
Yeah, I think that's the key phrase there. Shit is going to happen when Holy's around. I gotta say, when these two have clashed a couple times, and I've gotten to see the two of them together, it was like a quantum just vortex of stupidity. So it's definitely some shit happening. So speaking of some shit happening, we've got some stories to tell tonight. So for those who haven't seen the show before, I'm sorry. This is going to be an hour of stupidity. We are all former fat guys here. We're talking about some of that. We're talking about some of our war stories. We've got stories post-War of the Phoenix and some pre-Gulf War stuff. So we're going to talk about some of that. Share some tradition. If you've got questions for us, comments to add, throw them over there in the chat box or down there in the chat box, depending on which platform you're watching on. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And so, by the way, every time you put a comment in there, Conal's going to do this to read it. So please do that because he cannot see them. So just going to put that out there now. So yeah, that's where we're at. So Conal, we're going to start off with you. First of all, you have some used to be fat stories. Let's journey there.
Right. So at this point in my life, I'm like 2/3 Conal, full Conal. The full Conal class battleship was 345 pounds of 5 foot 8 inches of fury. I was too fat. I guess my family's kind of fat because my wife said, "Look, I'm getting this gastric sleeve surgery." I'm like, "That's very scary." Her brother-in-law, who was really fat, much fatter than me. Sorry, David, you were, he also was going to get the surgery. My mom was going to get the surgery. And I'm like, I'm not going to be browbeaten into this. But I was having some knee problems. I went in and the doc said, well, your first problem is you're too heavy. And this right here, this is your knees beginning to bow. And so I saw the x-ray. In my head, I just heard, fuck this. And that was it. I was done. It was gastric sleeve time. I'm let's see, I weigh 225 pounds now. So I've lost about 120 pounds. I started putting back on muscle. I'm much stronger than I was. For a while there, even though I was into my 50s and I was getting older, it was like I was actually reverse aging. I just got in better and better shape. And this is the last thing I'll say about it. It saved my life because unbeknownst to me, I had kidney cancer and my blood pressure got to where it was just great. 4 days out of the week, it was just great. And then 3 days it jacked back up. And my very smart doctor said, that's got to be your kidneys. So they scanned it and they said, we see a thing. Get this other scan. We see a thing with some mass in it. Could be cancerous, probably cancerous. Can't know. It's got to come out. Came out. Cancer stage 1, Furman scale 1 would have killed me in 5 years. And, they scanned me every year from now on to make sure I don't get more of it. But I'd been dead. I never would have noticed. I was just throwing back, blood pressure medicine. So
right.
It was a big deal. Wendy's doing a lot better too. There's always complications to it, but we are much happier micro people compared to what we used to be.
I think that's the biggest thing, and that's so we've had 2 medical miracles now. So yourself included, Sir Johann. His was because of a medical issue, and yours found a medical issue. So that's really interesting that it's more than just I want to be healthier. It's more it's literally something's wrong. Let's deal with it. So
yeah.
On the positive side, there's a comment here. I don't know who it's from. You just deadlifted 495 today, new personal record.
Yeah, I'm super excited about it. First of all, I'm a huge deadlift fan. I've always heard about these endorphins that hit you when you're exercising, and I love the SCA, but I've never had that squirt of brain cocaine until I started deadlifting. And I work with a trainer. I've been working out for about 7 years now, and sometimes it's spotty and sometimes it's not, but I'm just slowly coming up. And my deadlift max was about 455 regularly. I'd hit 475 at the end of the COVID shutdown when I set up a gym in my garage. I'm sorry, 485. Then I hit 475 sometime after that. But, here lately it's just 455. That's it. But tonight I just plowed through 455 and I'm like, well, let's do it. Totally failed at 495. Then a really strong guy in the gym came over and said, take your deep breath before you ever go down to the bar. I'm like, what? That could work. And by God, boys, when I lifted that the next time, I'm like, it's coming up. It's coming all the way up. So
yeah,
it was fantastic.
You lifted
cool.
one whole fat knee. That's what you did. That's impressive.
Well, and Kyle's right, man. Like if you don't, and it's probably not for everybody, but there's like I do the same thing. Like and people can preach against deadlifts and stuff, but there's something that happens chemically when you just do a deadlift and lift a shit ton of weight. You just feel like a superhero, yeah, and you get this rush. And for me, most of the time, it is just sheer utter joy that I didn't poop myself. But yeah,
which happens not to me. But yeah.
I did warn Conal where this show started, so he's aware of your poop problems there.
I'm ready to get into the poop.
Yes, I normally now like I deadlift around 425. I kind of do that, and I'm not trying to like really push heavy, all that, just working on some stuff and stuff. I got over 500 once and browned out. Like I did 515 one time. Didn't realize I did 515 because I didn't count for the weight of the bar. Right. And I'm like, oh no, good. I'm so good. I'm gonna do this. I can push it. Got it up, browned out, had to sit down a minute, got a nosebleed, and a guy come up, several guys come up, one checking on me, but other guys were like, dude, you pushed the 500, so.
That's kind of where I want to be. I turned 57 this year, but I'd like to hit 500 once before I just sort of slide into a maintenance thing. But I got to tell you, I think sleeping is worse on my body than lifting weights. I hurt most after sleeping a night rather than lifting weights.
The whole laying down thing and
Yeah.
getting back up the next morning, it's the hard part. The laying down is the easy part.
Right.
Gravity in the morning.
Yeah.
Because I'm smaller than I used to. It still takes a lot to get this body up and moving in the morning. I'm not a fan.
Yeah. How old are you, Cal?
I am only 34.
Dude, I bring bad news from the future.
I know.
Whatever you think you're experiencing now.
I know. No, you were going through your dates, and I was like, not born, not born, not born. God, I'm young. Okay.
Yeah.
Dang, yeah. Well,
Like Richard Rafen told Bart one time, don't ever tell me what to do. My elbow cops are older than you.
Which, frankly, God rest that man's soul, they were too, because
Bart told me that story. Bart loves that story.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, yeah, you are invested in this, aren't you? Yeah,
right.
Sorry.
Oh, yes. Yeah, yes, party dad. We all bow in comparison to your 95 years old.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Don't get him started. I know Rusty real well. He's going to start talking about when I started the SCA, we were still using wood.
That's right.
And I mean real wood. It was branches.
I'm pretty sure Rusty was he wasn't at the first party, but he was out back looking over the fence. Like he knew about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. No, I know Rusty. Rusty's an awesome dude, and that dude won't stop. But man, like at Penzic this year was his first time. He lost it. He had such a great time, and he was party dad. Like he was running around the whole time. And the biggest hippie you will ever see in your life. Swear to God, the greatest dude in the world, but just loves everybody.
Also a badass archer too, though. By the way, I watched him murdering folks.
From living out there, I have died to him so many times. Walking across the field, carrying his arrow, going, Rusty, I swear to God, if I ever get to you, I'm gonna break you in half.
But you'll never get to him. You can't.
You just go put one dead center of you and just look at you when he does it. Like, there you go sit down.
Yeah, man. Also, so apparently deadlifts are cool, but what about hip thrusts? Fearghus, what are your opinion on hip thrusts?
Well, depending on where you're doing them at.
Well, I mean, I find that the pelvic
not be the oldest one here,
really drives me insane. Yeah. That seems like a mighty fine exercise, and I did.
So my question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Come on, Ollie.
My question is always when it comes to hip thrusts is who's asking and how much do they weigh?
My wife just yelled from the other room, I'm pro hip thrust. And she is. So
a member of the Order of the Chalice, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, that's our kingdom right there. Honestly, to talk about Meridias for a second, and Conal, I want to hear some of your opinions on this from you've been around this kingdom a lot longer than I have. I think on the surface, Meridias looks a little uptight. There's a little of that Southern hospitality thing, that facade that's there. Mm-hmm. I think when you really dig under the surface, you find a little more silliness. Am I wrong there? Am I reading that?
A ton of silliness. Yeah, I mean, we can be, and I find society itself, a little less, is kind of two-faced like that too. But certainly Meridias can, we can have pockets of that, especially, everybody's always a little wary of the outsider. Hey, you're not doing things right. I mean, it goes back to what I was telling you about. I mean, guys, I had opinions on everything. I had figured out everything in the SCA. And if you didn't do it like that, well, fine. Perhaps you were a mere SCA hobbyist, but you weren't on my SCA level, and eventually I and my friends, who'd all been king, except for me, we were going to make the SCA we wanted. And, we did some good, but looking back on it, it's like my buddy who's a Duke over at Glenavon said, wow, we were a bunch of dicks. But yeah, no, we're goofy. We're flat goofy. If we seem uptight, just get a little bit of liquor in us. We are flat goofy.
Or if Holy's around, a lot of bit of liquor in them.
Sure. Yeah.
Speaking of sloppy gob, Holy, how were your travels recently? As the delay kicks in, Holy, you there?
Bueller.
Duke James, the Holy. Nope. Okay. I don't think Holy can hear us. Hold on.
He's had a stroke.
It's the 99s. Can you?
James the Holy. Oh,
he gone.
He gone.
I thought there was a presence in the room with us, but it's gone now.
He does this occasionally. His computer doesn't work. It doesn't like him. It'll work all day until he gets on screen with me. Then it's just like, nah, I'm good. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the problem.
No, look.
I'd give you that.
Yeah.
I'd totally give you that.
Look, as an Alabamian, just let me say this: Mississippi.
Hey, that's where I was raised now. Come on.
I was raised in Alabama. Somebody's got to be last.
Somebody's gonna be last. And if you ain't first, you're last.
It's a dead heat race now. Come on.
It really is.
It's a dead heat to the bottom, though. That's the problem here. It's never an upward direction.
Hey,
I'm always rooting for maybe we're not last today.
Yeah.
Oh.
no, I don't know. I was raised in Mississippi, upper part of Mississippi, about an hour south of Memphis, in a little town called Batesville. I don't know if you know Stardust Lake. I was raised on that lake. And then in 86, the funny thing is in 86, whenever you came back to the SCA is whenever my family moved out to California. And we were out there for years. And recently, about a year, 2 years ago, no, a year, something like that, we moved out to South Carolina and just fell back in love with it. Like, it is nice. But when you were talking about that, that dichotomy between the Southern hospitality and watching the new person and like making sure, I'm like, yep, I get all of that. Like, I was on both sides of it the whole time. So,
what part of South Carolina do you live in? My son and his family live in Easley near Greenville.
Oh, I know where Greenville's at. I live in Chester, which is a dead center between Charlotte and Columbia. Like,
okay,
I tell people, if you draw a line between Charlotte and Columbia and you take a pin and you put it dead center of that line, it's in my front yard.
Roger
I am
that.
40 minutes from both.
Cool.
Apparently, some squire knows where Fearghus is, so you might just follow them, I guess.
I don't know. Who is that? Like,
Squire that shall not be named.
Yeah.
They keep popping in here or something.
I think she knows stuff about deadlifting, I guess. I don't know. She's like, I'm a lifter. Whatever. I have been told we're not allowed to knock Mississippi because we were all going to be there in 24 days. So, yeah, that's a thing. Gulf War is coming up.
Oh, I'll knock Mississippi because I love it. And, like, I still have some property there. But I'll tell you right now, best fishing in the world, and I better come get me some catfish. That's all I know. God dang it, I need some more catfish.
Yeah,
that's the only part. That's the only bad part about our surgery is I can't eat much catfish as I want to. Catfish and crappie, and
that's it, though, isn't it? I mean, I catch myself going, man. Sometimes I wish I hadn't had this surgery so I could eat this. And I'm going,
You know, the mentality I took on that was very simple, right? If you think about when we eat. The only time you really taste your food is that first bite because you're anticipating how good it's going to be, and the last bite because you're like, damn it, this is the last bite. Everything in the middle is just food. So all we did was eliminate the middle part. It doesn't matter, right? We're like, I get that first part, and then the next bite, we know we're going to be done, right? Or it's pain time. So bang, right? We get the best part, and then we get to go.
Your philosophy is almost verbatim the philosophy developed by Duke Baru when we were college kids. He said, it's just that first bite is for taste. And the last bite, is for taste. And everything else in the middle is just mass consumption.
Yep.
And he's got the stomach surgery now too. So
Baru's on my list. I got to catch him in one day because that's another Meridian staple that would have some good stories. I
can't wait for Gulf War. I was supposed to go last year and didn't go, and I'm super excited. Never been. I've done a lot of traveling from being out in the West. I did a lot of stuff out there. I've been to Penzic, everything else like that. But I'd always heard about Gulf War. I'd always heard about Lily, and had like so many invites to come out. And this year, now that I live out here, I'm like, screw it, right? I'm going to jump in the little Ranger. I'm batching it up, right? Because my wife believes that it's a good thing for me to go out and just do stuff by myself sometimes. Mm-hmm. And I think it's because I'm like, these guys know real well. I'm a caffeinated ferret. Like, now that I only weigh half as much as I used to, right? I'm literally like, yo, like, and my wife's like, you got to go because you're driving me batshit crazy. Yeah. So, I think Gulf Force is probably going to be ending up being my bachelor event every year, where I go down by myself, just get it all out, right? And then the rest of the year, I'm good me. But Gulf Force is like, nope, go down there, get hit with sticks, like drink whatever you got to do, and come home. Right?
Are you saying you at Great Western was good? Is that what I just heard here?
No, because Great Western was when I lived on the West Coast. Great Western was my bachelor event.
Oh, okay. So you're just transitioning that now.
Yeah, because I
just had to make sure I didn't understand that was good. I'm concerned.
No. That was my bachelor event, and that was the Lost Boys. That was me and Eric, my buddy from Sweden, would come over, and Logan and my squires, and we'd all go down there and just be absolute idiots, like idiots.
It's kind
And my wife, she would put it. She posted things like, "Could somebody tell me if he's still alive? He's still alive. Okay, that's all I need to know. You know, like that's it." So.
I'm excited. I'm looking forward to meet you down there. We went last year and they just turned things back on. And Gulf Wars was about half the size. That's the biggest damn hugging event I'd ever been to.
Mm-hmm.
I see people I hadn't seen in years. We just stare at each other across the field and just start running, arms out.
Yeah,
it was
great. The only fighting that was done probably was fighting to get to the next hug. Like, I'm done with this. Like, I got more to get. Like, I got to press flesh, man.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
All right. So as a Gulf Wars virgin and a Gulf Wars experienced crew up here, Conal, tell me a Gulf Wars story for young Fearghus here.
Oh yeah, I need to know.
So Duke Gregory and Duchess Maisie, and I love Duchess Maisie. Gregory's cool too, but I love Duchess Maisie, and if we had to vote for favorite Duchess in the SCA, she'd be way up there for me. Probably win my vote. But Gregory makes things. That's what he does for a living. He has made things like a horse that you rode that was made out of a golf cart that peed beer out the back. He's made a flying carpet out of the same golf cart. It had a screen around it and you sat on it, but you could drive it. One year they showed up with an S10 frame they built a Viking ship on. And you'd foot pedal it up and down the fighting field, which is a little bit of a bowl. And I was just like, I'm drunk off my ass and I'm about to lose an ankle. I'm about to amputate a foot. Well, here we go. And we did that over and over again all night. And it doesn't sound like much now, but that really is probably tip top best Gulf Wars. There's been some atrocities. Things have been done. Shenanigans have been had, but it's a big vacation event for me. I have trouble getting out of my camp. I'm such a homebody. I set up my camp and then want to sit back and go, camp.
Mm-hmm.
My wife makes me leave.
No, the wonderful thing about my wife and I, she's the homebody, and I'm the one that I run out and drag everybody back to camp, right? Like, so. No, I can't wait. It looks like so much fun. I've watched a bunch of the videos. I've talked to a bunch of folks. I've always wanted to go, and I'm now a true Southerner, right? So back to be a true Southerner. So, I eat my biscuits and gravy, and I fish and hunt and everything else like that. So I'm good, right? I'm just trying to learn how. My mom made the best biscuits ever, and she's no longer with us. And now I'm trying to recreate that, and I suck. Just to be honest, I think I could kill cows with my biscuits. Like just throw them at them, like just rocks.
I will ask around some of my contacts around here, see if we can hook you up with the biscuit secret. It's not me, but I know Southern women. So
I will sell my soul to figure that out. If I had one, I'm ginger. I got a bunch of
you lost that years ago, sir. I was talking about there. So speaking of pirate ships, and I hate Holy's not here because this is a good Holy story, but I'll tell it while he's not here.
Yeah.
So one of the things, so last year Gulf Wars, there's a pirate ship or a Viking ship of sorts. I don't know if it's the same one or not. I am but young in the world with that. I doubt it is, but it's another large Viking ship that is big enough that it had at one point 4 or 5 people on it, being pushed by another dozen people. So last year, Holy was king at Gulf Wars and rode it. He and Joan rode that into the opening ceremonies because Glenalbin, being one of the host kingdoms, had to be the best, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
That, however, was the sort of the start of what Holy and I are now calling the People's Parade. I'm going to throw that graphic up real quick plug for that. Tuesday at Gulf Wars, come hang out with us and come be ridiculous people in the parade. Because we were like, you know what? The royalty gets their cool parade during the day. We're doing ours that night. Inspired by that ship going up and down Queen's Highway between Trimaris and the Green Dragon. So, yeah. Look for that big ship. I'm pretty sure it belongs to Axmore, the Baron over there now. I'm pretty sure it's his. That's a whole thing, though.
Didn't that get stolen and lightly broken?
Yes, it did get stolen and broken by accident. And the people who broke it did, I think, eventually fessed up to it and apologized for breaking it. And it has now been fixed.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I witnessed that this year about how it gets used.
I witnessed that crime, and when Holy reached out about it, I was like, I think I know some people who know about that. Ask these guys. They're probably not watching Facebook, and then after that, everybody fessed up. So yay!
Which and I think that's a good note. If you look, I think that's part of the fun of the SCA. We do stupid stuff like that. I think stealing a boat is a good thing to do. I'm not condoning crime here, but steal the boat, right? That's fun. If you steal it and break it, let them know you broke it.
Yeah, personal responsibility.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, everybody thinks the shenanigan is fun, and sometimes we go too far, and sometimes we don't have any regrets. But when you break it, you got to, and I think the guys who broke it didn't quite know they'd broken it.
Right.
Is from what I heard, is that they thought, hey, there's something wrong with this thing. Oh, I hope we didn't do that. They did that. So that's what I thought I heard, at least.
Yeah. And that tracks, and that's very similar to what I heard. I think that's a good point of that is not what Cal said. Okay, no, that is what Cal said. That's exactly.
I'm with Ben on this one. I could have swore I heard Cal said steal a boat, and when I get caught, I'm going to say Cal told me to because I'm new here.
Yeah.
He said that will get you literally nowhere in this kingdom. I promise you that.
Steal a boat. And then blame it on Cal. Got it. All right, cool. I know what I'm doing. Go for it.
You have reminded me of another one of my favorite stories, and I should have mentioned this. So one year, my buddy Sir Jan and Sir Albeck had a trailer that they built essentially like a Viking boat float bar with stripper pole on, and they named it.
How have I not been at this place? Oh my God,
you're missing out. I'm telling you.
Wait, so. Yeah. The one up in Callantyre that's a real little Viking boat, they call the Fearghus. So these guys called theirs the Beardraka, and they serve drinks that. Well, one year they decided the people who were in charge of the party said, we're going to do like a pub crawl. And, we're going to have different groups set up different stations, and one of them is going to be this Viking boat. Well, my wife and a bunch of ladies first was like my wife who'd lost all this weight and was working out at the gym. She said, I'm going to dress up as a maiden of Sith. I'm going to wear this tiny white outfit and face makeup and feathers and, short skirt. You would not believe the solid, reputable women who said, I need to be a maiden of Sith too. I guess maybe you would believe. Anyway, so they had all these beautiful girls serving drinks there. Well, I was on a crusade of sorts. My knight, Earl Richard, had died, and he was a Templar knight. So I took a 2-year tour of duty with the Templars out of respect for him. Well, the Templars had been asked to do a bar too. Well, Sir Ingolf, who is mundanely might have been an interrogator at one point, but a guy who, and now as writes books about it. He came up with the idea, we're going to serve this flavored, this pepper infused vodka, and people can either choose to have a shot. First of all, they can choose to have oh shit, the Irish beer. I'm drawing a blank. Workout.
Guinness.
Thank you. They choose to have a Guinness, which was Richard's favorite beer, or they can choose a shot of the vodka, the pepper infused vodka, or they can lie down upside down on a board like they're being waterboarded and take a shot upside down. So many people chose that. We nearly killed Duke Adamar. He didn't realize it was peppered vodka. It got up in here. He was like, oh, it's I think that's got pepper in it, right? Oh yeah, sorry, it does. Do you have any milk? No milk, just Guinness. But that was great. So I'll finish. I'll quit hogging. I'll finish the story.
No, please. This is great. Duke Adamar dying is fun for me. This is good.
We were running. Everybody else was sort of running out of beer. We still had beer. And I stepped out. We were trying to get some more people to come over to us. And eventually everybody did because everybody else ran out. So they came over to the stodgy Templars and took our stuff. But I came out in the middle and I was like, people, come over to the Templar bar and get this booze we've got. My wife came over and elbowed me out of the way. And she says, do not listen to this stodgy holy man. And I was like, and everybody was finally, by this time, looking, I said, pay no attention to the pagan harlot. Come to the Templars and get the best booze. And everybody was just quiet. And I went, I lost you at pagan harlot, didn't I? Yeah. Okay. That was a good time.
The fact that you called your wife a pagan harlot and didn't get stabbed for it's pretty impressive, actually.
Oh, he didn't say he didn't.
That's fair. No, that's fair. Because there's not many people in the SCA that I'm scared of. Women is one of them.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, then our wives should get to know each other because everybody looks at me and they're like, "We're not. You don't bother us. Your wife though." Like I'm like, I know, right?
You throw a Sylvie at me, I'm done. I quit. I'm out.
People used to ask me, "Hey, Fearghus, what kind of woman are you find attractive?" I'm like, one that has a chance of kicking my ass and we get in a fist fight. And that was when I was almost 500 pounds, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think I'd lose on this one. I think I would lose.
Oh, good. The wife is smiling now.
She's watching. She's grinning.
Now she's a hell of a woman. She, she got the stomach surgery too. Well, it turns out one of the side effects that can happen is, you run into a problem where you're low on iron. So she had to start taking iron infusions. She was like, "Man, I just can't do anything anymore." Like, "You did 8 things today. You've been a whirlwind of activity." "Oh, I know. I just don't feel myself." Then she got her iron infusion. It was like 30 things a day. She just
you become like Superman at that point. You're like, I can do the things and I'm not fat. This is great. Yeah.
She's amazing. I would get lost on the couch, but she starts doing stuff and I'm drawn into her whirlwind.
Yep.
I always tell people, so anybody who knows me, has seen me at an event knows that I don't sit down much. And if you ever get hungry around me, there are snacks in my bag. There are snacks in my bag because I never stop to eat. So if you're ever hungry, Conal, just grab my bag. There's food in there. I guarantee it. Because I'll be
take
running
you up on that.
Man, I'm like starting to like you see. I'll start dripping. I was like, man, I'm going like, oh, I should get a protein bar out. Hold on, and it's because I haven't eaten in 12 hours. Like, because I haven't, especially like things like that, where like I'm going solid.
So you don't feel hunger pains anymore?
Nope.
Yeah, me neither. Wendy still feels those.
That's what, so for those who don't know the sort of medical part of this, so those who have the gastric sleeve, they actually remove the bottom part of the stomach, which is where the hunger hormone ghrelin is produced. So I don't have that anymore. So like I don't know I'm hungry until my sugar drops out, and that's fun. So you can ask Kisa, and she's out there in the comments. She'll clarify this. I turn into a woo girl when I'm drunk. I'm 30-minute drunk as a woo girl, but also if my sugar drops, I turn into a woo girl. So she knows if I haven't been drinking and I start going woo, sugar's down and I should need to eat something. Because I will. I was at Walmart one night and started like getting silly, and I was like, I was just having a good old time because I hadn't eaten in half a day. So yeah, okay, yeah, steal sacks, steal boats, steal all the things. That's fine.
So Fearghus, here's an Atlantean thing. So speaking of turning into a woo girl, Wendy, to balance things out on her quest to find out what's wrong with her, the iron thing, they prescribe her Ozempic. We go to Castle Wars a few months ago in Georgia. Wendy's on Ozempic. She goes over to where Duke Timothy is, and Duke James the Holy, I wish he was here. And all I know is she comes back and she's blotto, 4 sheets to the wind. She's woo, she's having a great time. Well, I'm a little drunk too. And, the Atlanteans, Afshin and Jasmine are coming in to stay in our camp, and we're going to feed them. Now, Wendy's blotto. Then I hear something about some lady being really drunk and sick in the bathroom. I didn't realize that was Wendy. She comes back to camp, and the poor thing has to sit in her chair like this because she can't do anything. She's just like paralyzed, and I'm too drunk to actually put 2 and 2 together. All I know is, hey, here's Prince Afshin and Princess Yasmin just in time, So that was terribly embarrassing. But the next day we started doing the math. She had 2 gin and tonics. And finally, one of the nurses in the SCA said, "Are you on any new medicine?" She said, "Ozempic." And they went, yeah. So she had, a very scary medical reaction. We probably should have jumped up and taken her somewhere, but she was a bad woo girl. Now she's real careful. Do not tell that story. She says, "It's too late. I told it."
The Cal was sitting on the button going, "I'm going to let you finish first before I click this."
Yeah, I saw it. I knew it was there. I was like, no, I'm going to wait till he's done. I wouldn't want to interrupt you, Conal. That would be rude, frankly.
Thank you. You're right. Everybody knows that story. Now they think, oh, she was poisoned. It's okay.
You have the Atlanteans, especially those two. I mean, I met their highnesses. It's their highnesses at at Castle Wars. They were hanging out in the royal box for Friday Night Fights. And she was a hoot and a half, and he. So okay,
she's a whirlwind of fun, and he seems like a pretty great guy too.
Oh, he is.
I didn't know them at all and didn't know who he was around.
Same.
He was in armor and kept his helmet on with no cornet on. Or no, so
because he was freezing.
Yeah, well, yeah. I didn't know him from Adam, so I'm fighting, and I ended up losing. Lost the fight, whatever, got rebought, and then lost to him. Was like, man, who was that guy? Just beat my ass. Like, oh, that was the Prince of Atlantia. I was like, that'll fucking do it right there.
Yeah, I think you won that tournament.
Ashton, they are wonderful people. When we moved out here, went to my first event was Baronial birthday, and I'd talked to Ashman before, but that was the first time we actually saw each other in armor, and he saw my helmet. And the minute he saw my helmet, he was like, "I'm going to steal that thing." And we've been fast friends ever since. Hell, he was just here at my house on Wednesday. He got a new helm from Dave from Dongle and put a chin strap in it, and he loves that thing. But we're constantly now like, "I'm going to steal your helmet." I'm looking at his going, that one, we might have to talk, right? But just, it's so much fun to fight him, and I love hanging out with him. And I've had to learn like this new style out here because a lot of guys out here love to throw that back blade shot. Like Sir Kiriak just recently got knighted, great dude. He throws it a lot. Ashwin likes to throw it, and when I first fought Ashwin, he killed me with it. I'm like, what did you just hit me with? Like, because that's something where I come from. We never threw it. I never saw it. And he just pasted me up and down one side. I'm like, that's it, little man. Right? We ain't doing this crap again. And then we fought again, and he hit me with it again. I'm like, oh, good dang. Right? So, but just amazing. And I am honored that he has asked me to be his champion for his reign. It was kind of a great time. I've got him addicted to gambling. Like, because that's what I do. Like, I go places, like Cal and I are the same. I go places, and my first crown out here, my first fighting event out here, I started gambling on fights, right? I always keep a bag of coins with me, and people walk around like, what are you doing? I'm like, gambling. And they're like, you can't do that. I'm like, why? And they're like, well, I'm like, think about it. We're doing middle-aged stuff, right? Like the medieval shit, right? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay. Did they have TV? They're like, oh, no. They have like newspaper? No. So what they do? They bet on shit. Like that's what they did. And I do a Norse thing. We're stuck on a boat for weeks at a time, sitting on things full of silver and gold. You don't think they were gambling? That's all they did, right? So I'm being true. And now Ashford runs around with a big old thing of coins. And every time we see each other, we're betting on shit, and we're getting other people to bet, and we play dice all the time. It's just amazing. And he is so funny and just such a great dude. He and his lady are amazeballs.
Yeah, they're friends of they're friends of the squire who shall not be named, and who's the reason that I don't have a name anymore unless I have a hat that has my name.
Oh, there you go.
That's right. I'm somebody again.
I don't have hold on. I got a hat, but it ain't got a name on it. Damn, hold on, Colin. I gotta show out now.
So Count Josh out of Trimaris told me that there's like the gamblers of the SCA. But if you hang around with the gamblers long enough, you run into like the serious gamblers, the ones who are like gambling actually expensive things. Mm-hmm. Are you in that? Do you run in that pack, or can you comment or not?
Oh, I can totally comment. I don't. The way I gamble is very simple, right? I use it as a way to bring people in, right? And so I carry around like a large bag of coins all the time, right? Mm-hmm. I'm surprised it's not sitting here on my desk, along with everything else.
He doesn't have one with his face on it, though. I do. Kisa does. Fearghus does not.
I do.
Did you steal one, or did you actually win one?
No, they were given to me. Right. I lost every time that time.
He couldn't win one with his face on it to save his life. So
I do have coins that have my likeness on it from when we reigned, and those are fun to give out.
I don't care.
But, so what I do is I use it to bring people in. I want to use it so people have a great time. Now, so whenever I'm playing, and if I'm the one running the table, if I'm the one running the thing, it's very simple, right? I always choose simple games to play so they're easy to teach, so that they can leave and go teach somebody to how to play. Also, anything that hits the table is worth 1 coin. All coins are worth 1. Everything is worth 1.
Yeah.
And that way, because when you're drunk, math is stupid, right? So, but I'm also the guy that, because I'm the guy running around with a bunch of coins, if somebody wants to gamble, they're like, I don't have any coins. I've got this. And then I'm like, all right, I'll buy that from you for like 10 coins, right? And I'll give him 10 coins. I'll take that thing. And then I'll give it away as a gift, or I'll put it in my bag and use it as a coin, whatever. At one point, I had a guy that he wanted to play, and we were all playing. And he runs back to his car, and he comes back, and we're all anteing up. We play a game called Ship Captain Crew a lot. We're all throwing our coins in the middle, and he drops this coin, and it hits the. We were playing on concrete because we're all sitting around. This coin hits the ground and pops up, and I realize it's an 1800s Morgan silver dollar. And I grab it out of midair. Boom! Right? And I'm like, holy crap. And I look at the guy, I'm like, I can't, no, you cannot game with this. He goes, I just want to gamble. I'm like, look, I'll buy it from you. He goes, all right. And I literally grab my coin bag, which fits in my hand like this. It's a softball-sized coin bag. And I grab his hand and dump half of it in his hand. Right? I'm like, is that good enough? He goes, sure. And everybody was looking at me like, Fearghus, you can't do that to that guy. Come to find out, and I knew it, his house had just caught fire, and he had some issues. So I took that silver dollar and I told him, I'm like, I'm going to go get this checked out, and if this is one of the good ones, I'm going to sell it and give him the money. Right? It turned out it was only worth it was one of the ones that was worth like $15. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to keep that one. He got $15 worth of coin, had all the fun, and that coin I then gave to my buddy Eric, who lives in Sweden. Because he loves American history, and I'm like, look, this coin could have been held by a cowboy, like a real one. Like, here you go. So now he loves that thing. But I'm that guy. I everything for me is what word am I looking for? It's transactional, right? I don't care what it is. If it brings you joy, fine, let's do it. Like, let's have fun. That thing. As far as real gambling, I don't do it. And whenever I play, I forbid real money from anywhere from being used.
Right.
Because the minute real money comes in, it could become an issue. Right. So, nope.
Well, and there's some legal things, and that's one of the things when I ran book in Glenalbin for their crown list, and that was one of the rules that I got from their seneschal and from society was it has to be baubled, has to be junk, right? So I have to be very specific on the thing. That has to be stuff that is can't have value, right?
Okay.
Everything has value if you want to blah blah whatever.
I tell this story all the time. I was playing a guy, and he's now knighted. He was squire to a friend of mine out in the West, Logan. I was playing with Logan when he first came out. He was in the Air Force. Played with him, and we're sitting there playing, and I ran him out of money, and he's like, I don't have anything else. And I looked down, he does 14th century. Like he's one of the 14th century mafia. I looked down at his boots, and he's got these buckles on his boots, these brass buckles. I'm like, those are nice buckles. He reaches down with his knife and cuts one off and throws it on the table. My lady has a really nice set of garters with brass buckles, and that's the thing.
Logan can't gamble worth the crap.
Man, that's period as hell.
And that's the thing, right? And when we start, we do it because it brings other people in, and they're like, what's going on? And that's the reason why I always have so many coins. Is I'm like, hey, you want to play? They're like, I don't have any money. I'm like, shh, there you go. Yeah. Here's how you play the game. Here are the rules. Boom. And next thing you know, I have a family that lives in Arizona that I got them involved in gambling, and now they sit at home and have practice nights to beat me, like an entire family, right? And it's awesome, right? And we just have a great time. And now they're some of my dearest friends, right? So it's just fun. It's all about fun. And
that's cool.
I'm not the money thing is it's annoying. That's the annoying part of it. So that's why it's all baubles and stuff like that. So, as long as everybody that's playing agrees it's worth one coin, it's worth one coin, and we play for it.
Speaking of gambling, I've got another show plug. Swag Gaming and Fun. Wednesday night at Wren Village, I'll be hosting the Lands Connect, the Corner Tavern in the Lands Connect party. Come by and game with us.
Oh, I'll be there.
Monday night on Onsura hosts Monday night game nights at Gulfport as well. So.
Wednesday night is so busy and so cool. There's
really
big party going on.
Meridian Chimera social night, which is Star Wars theme this year. Yeah,
the Star Wars thing. There's the Lands Connect thing, and then over in our camp, the Honorable Lord Idris is going to be on vigil for his knighting the next day, and he's a foster squire of mine. He's a squire of Count Bart. So if you guys can somehow find a way to wander down there and say hi, you can't. I'm pretty sure, but if you get a chance, please come see him.
I will. I love vigil.
Yeah, I see. So yeah, let's talk about visuals for a second. So Tuesday night at Gold Force is Kikuchi. Or Pikachu or Baby Ninja for those who are out in the Ninja world. He'll be in Southern Consortium camp for his visual Tuesday night. And
Captain fucking dodged me. You talking about that guy? You talking about the guy that dodged me at Great Western the entire time? Wouldn't fight me? Oh,
that would be the one. Yes, Kikuchi. Bela dodges me all the time. He's scared of my Madu. So
you let him know. I'm just saying, right? Like he was like, "Hey, I want to fight you," and then we never did. I'm like, "Hey," and now you're getting knighted. Oh, you don't get to wear my rattan before you get knighted? It's on.
I got to call our secretary and retract my vote. Give me a second.
You did what? No. No, he's a great guy. We just never we went across paths and stuff. Great dude. I'm gonna get my stick on him though, because he's a cool dude.
Go for us.
Please do.
Yeah.
Now we've had three really good guys in a row been announced and or elevated. We just had Sir Marcus, Jeremy got knighted, and Idris and Kikuchi have been announced. And I don't think the populace could have been happier. But I mean, Marcus is an incredible fighter, and these guys, they're darn great too. And at least now people will stop saying, "When are you guys gonna knight?" Yeah, we're trying. There was a 2-year shutdown, guys. Give us a minute to recover.
There's a 2-year shutdown, and that's when you want to look at him and go, "Maybe he just shouldn't suck."
Yeah. How is who?
Yeah, not to speak ill of the aged knights in the room. I did trash talk Fearghus on Facebook earlier about that. But it's really nice to see recently, and thank you to the Meridian Knights for this. There are some young knights young people becoming knights recently that I think deserve it. Kikuchi, he just nothing but sort of upstanding, great fighter, great sort of persona. Stuff is there. Man,
Can we lose Cal too?
What's that?
Here he comes. He's coming back. You got the Kikuchi curse there for a minute, but
I'm back.
You are
also
back.
I'm sorry. Her Majesty said you can't take it back, Conal.
What's voted always voted. I'm out. Right?
That's as you wish, Your Majesty.
That's right. But yeah, no. I said Idris. When I first saw Idris in MGT, I was like, man, that he has the knightly bearing.
Oh, Idris has been. Fearghus, here I come again. Idris has been a grown ass man from the day he walked into the SCA.
No joke.
He had the whole package, and we just been waiting for the fighting and the look to catch up.
Oh, Kajil, yeah.
Oh, it's a top notch guy. Top notch. I hope he's not listening to this because he's a pretty man too. He's got everything going for him. It's really just disgusting.
Yeah. Speaking of knightings, Conal, I got to tell you something. I had a dream about one of your squires last night. The weirdest thing is one of your newest ones. The little short one you got.
Yeah.
Oh, I think hang on.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's go. I'm ready.
So, man, I had a dream about her last night, and she's impressive. So I want to thank you for putting a squire belt on her. I think we talked about this a little bit before the show, but I'm really impressed by what I'm seeing there, and I know my guest host down here in Holy would agree as well if he was here. Over where the hell belongs. But yeah, so I had a dream about her last night that she was knighted and was wearing a knight's belt, and I was like, damn, what happened? So I'm going to tell you, if and when that happens one day, and they need a knight's belt, please let me know, because I've got it in my brain what it needs to look like. So you reach out to me when that happens.
It came to him in a dream. If you build it, they will get better and fight better.
If you build it, if you make the belt, they will get knighted. That's how this works.
So speaking of holy, so we're standing in the Southern Consortium taco party last year. And by the way, my God, I get it. I'm like, taco party, and I get there and they've got all these toppings. They got camel meat. I mean, they've just gone insane. They got dessert tacos. It was fantastic.
I can't find a good taco out here.
None of those were good tacos, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know if they were, but I was drinking and they were good. But I'm standing in line with Holy, and he's going to squire song for a day so she can fight in the squires tournament tomorrow. And all of a sudden he's just like, "This is Sir Conal Macdale. This is Sir Conal Macdale from Meridies. His best night in Meridies. If you don't take a belt from me, Duke James the Holy, then the next best person take it from be Sir Conal Macdale." The song's like, "Oh, please God, please stop, please." It was pretty funny. But my best one from last year, so song was still in the I'm having fun.
Who was that?
Who? Oh, I'm so sorry. Hold it.
The short around here somewhere. One of the squires you got, right? The short one?
Anyway.
There you go. Okay.
You need a bleep or beep.
Yeah.
One of the duck button.
So was standing around. I mean, she was talking to me, and Duke Christoph from Atlanta comes over, and he's all in armor. I'm at the marshal's point. I'm not in armor. She walks off, and he walks off, but he turns around and comes back, and he goes, "Hey, how you know song?" I'm like, "Well, I mean, because I don't think she needs to be taking a squire belt right now." Well, okay. So, well, listen, I've offered her one, but I agree with you. She's just having fun right now. She needs to do what she wants to do. It's a standing offer, but no pressure. I've known her for a long time. All right, I was just checking because I don't think she needs to be focusing on that right now. She just needs to have fun. And I'm like, we're good. He's like 6'8" or something. But and being from Alabama, he triggered my inner redneck. Hey, how you know song? And I'm like, okay, be careful here. Be careful. You could be in trouble, Conal. Be careful.
Right.
When if we're talking about the person who shall not be named, said candidate,
So
I was impressed with them very rapidly. When the first time I met her, it was at a 3-dog night out here, and it was my first one, and I'd watched the field because I was still getting my feet wet, right? Of what's everything going on, and I saw this one fighter that just had drive, and I would see other people like and go over and sit down. This other one she was just like, nope, I got my helmet on. What are we doing, right? And I was really amazed by it. So later on in the day, I pulled her aside. And I was like, hey, I'm new here. You don't know me from Adam, but I'm going to tell you right now, you really impressed me today. Like your drive and your want and your desire and all that other stuff. It's super cool. And we kind of started talking a little bit at that point. And I'm going to tell you right now, and I've told her this, so there's no secret. The two drawbacks for me. One, we didn't live in the same kingdom, so there's that weirdness. And two, you got there first. Like that's it. Like I'm gonna tell you right now, right? Because I had the discussion with the boss, who is sitting in the front room, and she's like, "Yeah, I like her." I'm like, "All right, well, she's passed that test, right?" So,
She's
I don't even know who that is. With that, I don't know who that is, but but I'm telling you right now,
killing me.
I may have to talk to them about those shoulder pads and getting a set made for myself.
Right?
Yeah.
There you go.
Because I'm gonna tell you, I want to be the prettiest dead body on the field. That's my whole job. Like I want to be the first guy they steal shit from. Right? Like that's it. That's my goal.
You need a lot of armor for that, frankly, Fearghus. It's a losing battle, brother. Just saying. Like, damn.
Hey, you asked me something before the show started, Cal.
Yeah.
About how things changed after you fought.
Oh, yeah.
Like an example.
Yeah.
So I was 345-pound fat man. If I charged into somebody, I mean, I'd launch them.
Right.
Big guy, little guy, whatever. Tiny, inexperienced woman. Sorry, I didn't realize she was inexperienced. But just launch them. So lighter, 100-pound less 2/3 Conal is fighting one day with my squire, and he's a normal guy. He's like a normal body build, but he's very strong. And I was just pressing. And he just decided, he said, and I just thought about it. And I thought, I don't want you doing that. And he went, whew. And I was in the air. I was flying. I was laughing. It was like being on a flying carpet that ended real quick. I was, just hit the ground. And I'm like, well, not 345 pounds anymore. He's like, no, I guess you are.
Yeah. I've had that same one too. At my heaviest, I was 418, but like walking around weight, 385. That was the magic number. Like that was my everyday for years, the constant 385. And I'm right there with you. And I had a buddy of mine named Gunther who's coming out to visit in a couple of weeks. At that point, Gunther was over 500 pounds. Yeah. So between the two of us, we were a unit of measure. Like they would build bridges in the West Kingdom. And it's like, is that a Gunther bridge wide or is that a Gunther and Fearghus bridge? Right? Like, because we could just sit there and do exactly what you're talking about. Just shield swat, like entire units off the thing.
Yeah.
And Gunther got his surgery first, lost a bunch of weight, and they came back out. The first time he was out of the war fighting, and it was so funny. He went to charge this group of guys, right? He charged them, and I swear to you, he hit this group of guys, boom, and it was like bang, whap, and he hit the ground that fast. And he comes walking off the field, right? We both fought in the same war unit. He comes walking off the field carrying his shield, and his sword by the lanyard was dragging on the ground.
Yeah.
Like it was Linus's blanket, right? And he was just all sad. And as he walked by, and you know you got a good friend when they look at you and say, hey, you're not big enough to be up in this front line anymore. Why don't you get your little ass in the back? And he was like, and he was just hurt like inside. So years later, I got my surgery, first war out. I go out, reload, charge, bang, pop, like same thing. And he's standing back there just screaming and yelling at me, get your ass to the back, like as loud as he could across the field, right? So I totally understand it, right? Well, I watched Gunther get launched by an 18-year-old kid at his first war after losing the weight over a picnic table.
Oh,
Oh, all I saw was boots go flying, and they were his. And I'm like, oh, that's not good. He's going to be sad about that one. So, yeah, it is totally different. People ask me, here's my question. As a fighter, as a big guy, right? Even as a big guy, I had a lot of energy, right? And I tended to stay out on the field a lot longer than most, right? I don't know what it was about me, but I could just stay out there. And people will ask me, Fearghus, how do you stay out on the field so long?
That's called stubbornness, Fearghus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and I would just tell them, like, I just don't stop walking. Like, that's my trick. If I stop, I can't get the mass moving again. So I just keep walking, right? Like, whatever, I'm walking. And I had people when I was big go, oh, Fearghus, right? Like, I can't keep up with you. And then I lost all the weight, and they're like, well, Fearghus, there's no way I can keep up with you now. And I give them the, yeah, good job, thank you. But in my mind, I got to be honest, sometimes, and I'm sorry that for people that I've done this to and not said that to them, but they would say that, and I'm like, you couldn't keep up with me when I was 400 pounds. Like, what chance do you think you got now? Right? Like, I've lost so much. So for your fighting as our fighting, I should say, as big people, right? How did you manage your energy then, and how has it changed now, and the difference in it, right?
Okay, so I have.
Sorry for the long-winded question.
Yeah, I have more energy now than I did then.
Right.
I think I also, unfortunately, burn more energy because I'm a whole lot more hoppy, moving around. I've got a lot of excess motion that doesn't, pay off as much as it should. I think I still spook people sometimes because I am, moving fast at them. I'm an A range. I may pretend like I'm going to do some sort of C range stuff, but really I just want to get over on you and mug on you. So it costs me a lot of energy. But I think overall my energy is more now. And I'm a little more nimble and maybe nubile.
Whoa.
The boss is in the comments. She already a couple times.
I don't know, Wendy. Is he more nubile now? I guess.
But I'm a little more nimble and to the counter push. So I mean, I guess that's what I would say. I didn't have tremendous stamina beforehand. I have more stamina now.
Yeah.
So were we? Because that's the thing. It's like when I was bigger, I would call myself a firing platform. I didn't have a lot of foot. I'm like, I'm going to advance to where I want to be, and if I can keep you in my V of my cone of death, I'm going to smash you, right? And as a big fighter, it was easier to do that because I could push people around. Now that I'm SCA medium, right, at 249 pounds, 250 pounds, SCA medium comparatively, right? It's like now it's more energy to keep them in that kill box, but I can do it, right? And so that was a big change for me, and how I saw that thing, and I would see the fights, because once I lost all the weight, I would try to force people in that box when I got back to fighting after my surgery, and I'm like, I can't keep you here. You could just walk away from me. And before you couldn't, I could muscle you back in.
You just scoop him back in like a cat with a mouth. Yeah, I love that.
And it was very much like, oh, you're in the box, boom, right? And I'm laying the howitzers down. And now I'm going to tell you, I'm a sniper, right?
Yeah.
Because bones are near the surface now. Like, I don't have padding anymore. Like, I died to a salute.
What the hell are these things? Why do we have bones here?
I died to a salute. I died to a salute, right? This kid, and he's now knighted. His name's Sir Rorik, greatest dude in the world. I just bought my first Acer helmet, right? And Rorik the helmet he was using, I didn't realize that I was fighting him one night and he couldn't look up because it came down too far. I'm like, hey, try this helmet on, right? I just bought it, everything else like this. And so he took off his helmet, and he put on the helmet. It was like I padded it for him, right? Like it just shoot. And I'm like, oh shit, I just lost that helmet. Oh my God. Cause I'm that guy. I'm like, nope, that's where that helmet needs to be. Right. But then his gorget wouldn't work. So I traded gorgets and I wear this mantle, right?
Mhm.
So he put on my mantle, put my gorget on. He goes, this is great. I'm like, all right. So I borrowed his little dog collar thing, just a little dog collar, right? With the thing going down the back. And I've got another helmet on. And I went to fight him and we were up there. And I used to do the salute where I'm not going to do it with my spear because I'll cut myself.
Yeah.
But I would come out and I'd go like this. And I would tap my shoulder. And that was like my trigger to go fight, right? Because everybody got their little on switch. And I went, bonk. And I'm like, what the? Ow. Good. And I went to walk off and he looked at me like, what the hell happened? I'm like, that hurt. Like, you people are dumb. And he said, what are you talking about? Like, how do you skinny people fight? Like, there's nothing here. That hurt. Like, you people get hit in the bone? Like, this is bullshit. So I died to a salute. And I did. I went over and sat down. And that was the moment I was like, nope, nobody can touch me ever again. Like, my whole fighting style is angry cat. Like, run away. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. I learned very quickly at panhandle skirmishes not to fight without my gambeson and my war armor on, because that shit hurts. Because I forgot to bring it, so I was like, "I'll just go with my kitty belt. I got my little tournament kit on," and I ran into the stupidity of Trimerians, and ow, that shit hurts.
I'm gonna tell you, like, that other than the massive amount of alcohol I used to be able to consume, which I still can. I just get drunk and sober real fast.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Yeah, no, dude, we trained our livers like champions, right? Because we had the body mass. Like, I had a guy come over from Australia. He's like, I'm going to drink you under the table. Half hour later, we have video of somebody humping the back of his neck while he's puking for 4 hours, right? It's like, he got nothing. And he was put down, not by me, but by other people. I'm like, you ain't got no chance here, son. Now people are like, oh yeah, but it used to be nobody would take me out to eat. They're like, no, I can't afford that.
Right.
So I'm like, okay. Now I'm like, hey, why don't you take me out for a drink? Because it's like drunk, sober.
Yep.
And I'm like, I can do this all night.
All night.
Right?
All right. And on that note, we've now had Fearghus tell the story, a story twice now. We're good to go. We are just past an hour, so we're going to call it for the night. But before we do that, let me do a couple of plugs here. We are an hour, 3 minutes.
This has been a crap load of fun. Sorry, go ahead.
Somebody's night, we're hanging out at Go For It. I ain't shitting you.
It's a day.
This happens at Go For It because you guys are ridiculous.
Viking shit that you run in.
Coming up next to Kal-bardr Corner.
God, I miss it.
Don't forget to tune in this Sunday for Learning from LARPs on Coffee with Cal with King Yon of Trimaris and the Sir Logan we talked about earlier.
Oh yeah, that's a no buckles on his boots. Yeah, I know that guy.
He has no buckles left on his boots, but tune in for that.
I love Yon. Yon's a good guy.
Two great people and men that love this game and love playing this game. And I think what we'll talk about that day is sort of the silliness that we can bring from the LARPs into our very serious game. So looking forward to that. And as I said earlier, Tuesday at Gulf Wars, don't forget the People's Parade. Wednesday at Gulf Wars, don't forget to come out to the Corner Tavern. Look us up on Patreon, patreon.com/KK Productions. Look us up on Redbubble, KK Productions. There will be a new merch store opening soon. I'm working with another artist to open up merch because I hate doing merch. So look up Rawson Rags on Etsy. Check that out. There's also all the stuff I mentioned in the last show is out there as well. If you want a Conal Macdale hat, you have to beat him up for that.
I'm selling these.
There you go. We can all be Conal Macdale.
I'm going to tell you right now, you don't want me to have that because I'll get in trouble and I'll say I'm you. I've done it. Like I got kicked out of a coffee shop at Pinzik and because I was who was I there? Stephen Pembroke. Yep.
I'm Duke Alfar. I found out. I can pass the Duke Alfar.
You can. I know.
They believe that shit, so it works out great. So that's.
And trust me, I know that guy. You can get away with a lot of shit.
That's what I've been told.
Earl Robert Glennon of Ock. Damn glad to meet you.
That's right. On that note, folks, we appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, click all the buttons down there. Check us out Sunday and every other weekend here on Kal-bardr Corner. But until then, this has been the unnamed Opossum Prime, Fearghus, Songs Night, and Kal-bardr.
Oh, there it is, Songs Night. Oh, look, he has a name.
He does have a name. Not tonight. Good night,
This
folks.
night, not tonight.